Well, I think it's amazing and a little bit frightening and scary at the same time that we have the power to change your DNA, right? Which means we also have tremendous amount of influence on the generations coming, after us, right? Because that DNA is transmitted, across lineages. My grandmothers had stories of, being oppressed or not being able to express their voice or whatever else. My mom had similar circumstances. I was not necessarily oppressed, but I was raised in a chaotic home. And then comes my daughter, who definitely no chaotic home, super happy, privileged childhood. But everyone's had the same kind of look in their eye of insecurity, inability to maybe voice themselves or act, until they mature up. And so I was like, why is that? Like different
Mm.
experiences. And so this idea of locking your emotions within your physical body and how it transmits down is real. I've seen
Mhm.
it play out over and over again. What are some of the patient stories where you've seen this idea play out in real time, where it has been more emotional locking, energetic locking, or blockages that have resulted in physical outcomes?
A diabetic that is really influenced by their immediate ability to metabolize, sugars in life, etc. Once she discovered that actually allowing her own disposition to be enough, to be whole and complete, actually her recognizing that there is a sweetness to life that she never really recognized. She was caught in survival all the
Mhm.
time and was transferred from being raised by her parents to her grandmother raising her because of chaos in the home, and she grew up under those circumstances, under those recognitions, and us working with moving her energy back into its alignment and its integrated state. She began to recognize that she was okay, that
Mm.
she was safe, that she was whole and complete. And as a byproduct of that, not only was she able to reduce her insulin down to, a functional level and continues to reduce it, but also found that her eyesight was changing and that her disposition was changing in at large, and her ability to actually be in a relationship for the first time in her life
Wow.
in her 30s, to be in a successful, loving, dynamic relationship for the first time, all was a byproduct of her recognizing that she needed to bring her attention back onto self instead of being consumed on other and defensive physiology, a dysregulated nervous system, which we know so much about these days. But to recognize that there is an essence underneath all of that she had no idea existed. To find the true self, which sounds super esoteric, but it is a starting point that we all ultimately have to find.